It's the Rupi and Dan Show.
What?
It's the Rupi and Dan Show.
What?
It's the Rupi and Dan Show.
What?
What?
Hi, Rupi.
Hi, how you doing, Dan?
Not bad, thanks, pal. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good, and I can't believe we're actually doing this, but we're here
We're actually
in the studio in Birmingham.
That's right. This is our first ever trial.
This is it.
This isn't even going on. Oh my gosh.
This is how we start, everybody. Yeah, if you are here for the start of our journey, expect some things like this to happen. That's all I'm going to say to everybody.
Indeed.
We're working our way through this. It's going to be a fun ride. So please stick with us, and trust me, you'll be rewarded for that. You'll be rewarded.
Indeed, indeed. So, welcome to the Rupi and Danny Show in the new year, January 2024.
That's what I'm talking about, people. New year.
How awesome is this year?
I know. It's been great so far, and I have to say, a highlight of 2023 was meeting yourself, Dan.
Oh,
so
likewise, yeah.
Yeah, it's been, and the strange thing is how much we have in common, and we've never met each other before.
No.
That is just blows my mind.
It's crazy. This is our fourth or fifth time meeting properly. Oh my days. So how did we meet, Rupi?
Well, our children go to the same primary school, and obviously every school has their own kind of parent-teacher association, and both myself and Dan decided to join it and to see what's going on, and that's how we met. And that is how we met, and then we started to talk and chat. Obviously, part of WhatsApp groups.
You know, I forgot I met you in the PTFA. That's where we met. That's right.
And it was actually, I think, the first meeting that I went to. I actually met your fantastic wife, and she learnt of my experiences in terms of acting and whatnot. And then she mentioned about yourself. And she said, "You know what? My husband would love to talk to you because you have so much in common." And she mentioned your movie appearance, which we were fortunate to see yesterday as well. So it was like
it's a good way to meet someone through their wife. When you hear something like that, and it's like, wow, I do the same thing.
I know.
I enjoy the same thing.
Exactly. And it's like and the funny thing is, we're both from West Bromwich. We both got similar interests. I mean, we only just found out the other day that we both enjoy watching wrestling. So, and the friendship is evolving.
Yeah.
And we're learning new things, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just blown away. I say sometimes, I'm a fan of wrestling. It's a guilty pleasure.
Yes.
That's how I say it to my friends. That's how I say it to my work colleagues. To meet someone that says, I love it too.
I know. and not to be ashamed of it as well.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we only just said that yesterday, and the Royal Rumble was on yesterday.
Royal Rumble, yes, and I've mentioned this as well. I haven't completed my viewing of the event. I'm just about to start the actual men's Royal Rumble match. I've seen everything else before it, and interesting outcome so far. Yeah. I have to say,
The women's Royal Rumble was a really... I've seen the highlights. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, very, very good. Very, very good. I was expecting a certain wrestler to make a comeback, and they didn't. So I was a little bit disappointed. Sasha Banks.
Oh, yeah.
That's right, I know. So Naomi was back in town.
And they even had a TNA champ.
I know.
A current TNA champ.
That was it. And then, the last time they did that, it was Mickie James. And the strange thing was I think it was last year or the year before, and they didn't refer to it as the knockout champion as they do in TNA. They just called it the TNA or the Impact Women's Wrestling Champion. So for them to use the actual term knockout champion as well was interesting, I found. Yeah. But spoiler alert, with the women's winner of the Royal Rumble match was, all right, are you ready for it? Here we go, was Bayley. And a fan's favourite. The reaction was amazing, I think, for her as well.
Well deserved. Absolutely well deserved. She has worked so hard.
Oh, yeah,
over
for sure.
the years. And she's one of the original 4 horsewomen.
Yes, very good point.
I don't think she's never had the same types of accolades as the other horsewomen. Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks.
Yeah, you're right. I think she's probably not as held in the same kind of high regard, maybe, in terms of, if you think of Charlotte Flair, who is probably like the ultimate women's superstar in terms of wrestling.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
Interesting story behind her wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Very interesting in terms of,
too,
her
Got
brother
into it,
and obviously her father.
Yeah.
Woo! Can't help but do it.
Nature boy.
The nature boy, the Nate, Ric Flair. How we mentioned him on a podcast, which is brilliant. But yeah, I think Bayley has now, by winning the Royal Rumble, she's done everything that there is to do in terms of the WWE and wrestling. She's a Grand Slam winner, so she's won every title: NXT, the Raw, and the SmackDown.
Like the Miz.
Yeah,
Slam.
yeah, two-time, the Miz. It's interesting, isn't it, the Miz, how he's doing like a babyface turn at the moment, and I mean, he's okay. Don't get me wrong.
But it's good though, because they're giving him something
For sure.
instead of making him a heel, which is a bad guy.
Yeah.
Jobber, which means his job is to lose to people to make them look good. So now they're actually giving him some credibility, which is great.
Some technical terms there for those aren't familiar. So babyface, good guy, obviously heel, the bad guy.
There's a new one now.
Oh,
There's one for the middle. You know, for the
mid-card people.
Yeah, no, the anti-heroes. They're
Okay.
called tweakers now, or twisters. I heard it on the
So what? This is like what Drew McIntyre's doing at the
WWE
moment.
commentary. Yeah.
Ah.
There's a new category now.
Well, see, we're now learning things as well in this podcast, which is lovely. I did not know that, Dan.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing that.
And it's interesting this period of time as well, because The Rock has become a board of director member
And TKO.
for TKO, and he's on the way out. Did you know? Did you hear?
I'm guessing
Not
Mr.
on the way out. They're gone.
Is it Vince?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's some certain things going on there, isn't there? So
So
yeah.
I read a headline. I was going to share with you last night, but you were asleep. It said, it said for the first time in WWE's history, there's no McMahon.
A part of the board of directors as such.
They're all gone.
Wow.
Yeah, the only one that remains is Triple H.
I was going to say, there's Triple H.
He doesn't count.
Does he
though.
count? I don't know. You know, he's married into the family.
But
so
he's his own man.
yeah. And to be honest with you, I think looking back on everything that's been going on at least the last 10 years, WWE has to thank him quite a lot for the success, especially in the last. Since coming out of COVID and the pandemic, the pay-per-views have seemed to be doing mad numbers. And I have to say, especially last year.
What he's doing.
Oh yeah, I mean the whole storyline with the bloodline and Sami Zayn was just some of the best stuff I've seen in ages.
Epic. Yeah.
It was just a great time to watch the wrestling and enjoy WWE.
And they've kind of transitioned that now into the Judgment Day. With
R-Truth. Yeah, they're doing a similar thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it, how he persists with certain jokes, which you think to yourself, are they sticking or not?
Yeah.
Like the Dom and Nick instead of Dominic. He's persisting with that.
I missed that
Yeah,
one.
they've actually produced the T-shirt now, and you have two images of Dominic in different costumes with R-Truth in the middle, and it's just like Dom and Nick with R-Truth.
Nice.
And it's like,
Nice.
but interesting, very interesting.
Interesting for sure. And then you I learned more about you when I saw you yesterday, and you work in the TV and film and in the theatre. That's really interesting.
No, I've been very fortunate, very fortunate. So for those who don't know me, and hello, nice to meet you. Rupi actor, facilitator, presenter. I've done a lot of different things in terms of the arts. So I went to drama school and I graduated, Rose Bruford, 2004 graduate. And then I was freelancing, got myself an agent in London and did a few plays on stage. So worked with Rifco, who are based in Watford now.
Oh.
Previously were based in Slough. So I did The Deranged Marriage and I played the groom in that. So that was quite funny. Alongside Pooja Shah, who played Karina off EastEnders.
Oh.
So yeah, very interesting. Very quickly, we were performing the play in Leeds at the Leeds Playhouse, which is a fantastic theatre. I think it's, at least between 400 and 700 people it seats the main house. And there was a scene where basically we're supposed to get married. It's the day of the wedding, and we're both having cold feet, and then somehow we meet in the same room and we're talking. And we're hugging each other, and she says, I can't marry you, I've got a boyfriend. And there was a big reaction from the crowd. And then my line was, Yeah, me too. Another massive big reaction from the audience. So yeah, wonderful experience performing on stage with Rivko. I performed with Tamasha as well, another great South Asian theatre company in London. And then things started to dry up a little bit.
Tamasha, it's Tamasha.
Tamasha. I put the little, the masala on it. I know, sorry about that.
So that's how you pronounce Tamasha.
Tamasha.
It is Tamasha.
Tamasha.
Which means...
Well, you tell me, Dan, because I've heard several meanings for this.
Oh, it means messing around,
Yeah.
craziness, a bit of what we're probably going to show you over the course of time.
That could be a name. We should have named the podcast that Tamasha.
Tamasha. Tamasha is Rupi and Dan.
Hashtag Tamasha.
If you like it, let us know.
But yeah, so freelancing in London for a while, and then I've joined a fantastic theatre and education company based in Birmingham, and I was with them for 14 years, going to schools, doing issue-based drama, but also workshops, and signposting to companies such as Childline, which is a fantastic organisation. So, lots of things that young people might experience and don't know where to turn, unfortunately, whilst they're going through the changes that we all go through, puberty and just growing up in general. But yeah, during the COVID pandemic, the lockdown, me and my wife were discussing things, and she said, look, what you're doing is great, but this wasn't the dream, was it, Rupi? And I was like, no, it's not the dream. So she said, look, we're okay at the moment in terms of finances. Why don't you go for it? And
awesome.
As soon as she gave me that green light, which was brilliant, because we were a small family at the time. We had one child. Now we've got two. Healthy and happy, which is I thank our lucky stars for. But yeah, and then I went back into the world of freelancing, and for the last 3 years, I've been really fortunate. I've got a great agent who's great. Big shout out to Rob at Red Talent Management. Rob's a brilliant guy. And I've been doing lots of commercials. So I've done things for Sainsbury's, Aldi, Sky Bet, Argos. And
so now you recognise his face, don't you?
Yeah, and tomorrow, what I've been told is IKEA.
29th of January.
That's
Ruining
the
the
one.
mirage of when we post this and when we film it. So you've already probably got access to this.
Yes, you've probably seen it. So IKEA, it's a global campaign, and I'm on there with two lovely girls who I was working with, playing their father, the twins as well, and they were awesome to work with. And we filmed it in Madrid in Spain. So
and you got to live out your Superman.
Oh yes, they had me on wires, and it was interesting because the production team thought I wouldn't enjoy that, Dan. They thought no, normally actors don't like to be strapped to a harness and flying around. I said, listen, I'm a big Batman fan. Let me get him on camera. He's falling over. I'm a big, massive Batman fan. So for me, this is a dream. And I tried it a few times with a few takes of me flying in, and then they decided to hang me upside down by my legs, which was more comfortable than the other harness, I have to say.
Yeah.
And again, just flew me through this corridor, and the set was supposed to be in a Mumbai house. So it was supposed to be a proper Indian family, Anna.
Right.
And so amazing team. Big shout out to Smile, the production company. And to everyone that I work with. It was an amazing shoot, and looking forward to watching that commercial when it gets released.
Us too. And we might put a link to that commercial down below in the description for this. Video.
I'll have to check it out.
You touched on something as well that we're going to be exploring over the course of our series, which is life of a dad.
Yes.
Life of a parent, life of a husband, life of a son, brother, uncle, nephew.
Yes. All those things and more.
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting. So what this is just an introductory as to who Rupi and Dan are. So that's Rupi. For me, well, like we said earlier on, like Rupi said, we're similar. So I've delved into movie and TV.
Oh yes, he has, people.
By accident. And it's really addictive, I've got to say.
By accident? I think you should give yourself a bit more credit there. You researched it, you found the opportunity, you put yourself forward, and you did it. So a big shout out to you, Dan, for doing what you did.
Oh, thanks, mate.
I think we need to let everyone know what it is that you did.
So 2017, I put myself forward for an audition for a Guy Ritchie movie because it was really struggling to find this one particular actor. Went all around the world, and then I thought, you know what? I don't meet the age criteria, I don't meet the ethnicity, but I'm going to give it a go. And I went down to audition for Aladdin with a full beard, overgrown hair, and in the audition they asked me to do a song.
Oh, I did not know this. What
Did
did
I
they?
not tell
Oh
you?
no. What did they ask you to sing?
So they said you could choose anything you want.
Right.
Thinking that I'll take this a bit seriously. It was my first audition.
Sure.
Ever. Let me choose an Aladdin song.
Okay, nice.
So I chose A Whole New World.
Oh, very good.
And
This isn't the Peter Andre kind of version, is it?
No, not the Katie Price. No, not that one. Well, that's very similar. But then what I didn't realise was they didn't want me to just stop singing after Aladdin stops.
Oh, right.
They wanted me to carry on.
Nice.
So I couldn't do that because I didn't rehearse those lines. So in my audition, Whole New World. Then I'd pause and I said to the person opposite me, 2 people, I said, well, now this is what Jasmine sings. and after she finishes, then A Whole New World. So, needless to say, as you can tell, I never got the role. And this really nice guy called Mina Masood, he got the role. Naomi Scott, she got the role of Jasmine.
Yeah.
Fantastic casting, lovely people. And Will Smith as a genie, smashed it.
Yeah, it was an interesting bit of casting, wasn't it? Because, I mean, how you can't top what Robin Williams did in the animated film, And I think even Will Smith, from what I read, even he was very hesitant to take over the role. But then they pitched the idea of creating a very kind of R&B hip-hop version of the genie, and I think they sold it to Will Smith. And there's still people out there that are critical of the performance, but listen, he put his own spin on it, and fair play, he did a good job. I think it's because those of us that are very familiar with the animated original, and I think a lot of us that are lovers of film, very much enjoy Robin Williams as a performer. The guy was brilliant. Yeah. Mrs. Doubtfire, Hook. Yeah. And for us, it's cemented that the genie has that voice. But Will Smith, fair play, he did really well. And from what you've told me, how was he like on set as well, Dan?
Lovely guy, so professional, so courteous with the people he was working with. So a lot of the people there were young, the dancers that he was working with, and he was just he's everything you'd expect from a movie star. Mm-hmm. He really conducted himself really well, and I think on my day off, it was his birthday, and he even shared cake amongst.
Nice.
So I was one of the extras. And if you look at Ricky Gervais and his show, The Extras, it'll give you an insight as to what an extra is. And so I was one of the extras, and he was gracious enough to share cake around.
Wow.
Yeah, and I thought, I went over to him. This is something you don't do on set, by the way, people. You don't approach an actor sometimes to say hi. They're in the zone. They're trying to, carry a $1 billion franchise movie. But I thought, I don't think I'm gonna come back, and I got lucky with this little casting over here. So I'm gonna go over and say hi. And I went over and I said hi to him, and he has big hands, and he gripped my hand with his big hand, and he just shook it really gently but firmly at the same time. It's really strange.
All right.
And then I looked at him and said, you know what, Will, thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for being who you are, because it's like having a positive impact on all of us, and it's incredible to be on set. Something to that effect.
Yeah.
And I think he was a bit shocked and not expecting me to come over and say hi, and also in the zone, and so it was kind of a like, okay.
Right, okay.
All right. That kind of response from him, and then I walked away, and I thought, I'm glad I did that.
Yeah, fair play to you, man. Fair play. He didn't have like bodyguards or anything around him at the time.
No, we were on set, so it was just colleague to colleague, so to speak.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah, really
Just gonna
nice
bring
guy.
my mic a little bit closer. There you go.
Yeah, and
that sounds a bit better.
Oh, it's going down again.
Oh, it's going down. I know. I'm not too sure. As I said, things like this are going to happen. Everybody,
Yeah.
we're learning our way through it.
Yeah. So. What we'll also probably bring in the series going forward is a bit of behind the scenes as to what you can expect from a music studio, a TV studio production unit, movie production unit. If you're interested in getting into the arts, we'll talk a bit about that. We'll talk to you about who you can maybe go to, where to train, what to do, how your experience has been with training and getting exposure and work.
I mean, lots of people, they do ask me, how do I get into it, and do I need a training and things like that. I think it depends on what level you want to get into. I mean, if you want to be or aim to be the star, or to be, a feature role in any kind of TV show or production or whatever it is, then, the training is the must. You need to have some form of training. If you want to go down the role of, you know what, I just want to be involved, maybe like, for example, like Dan done, like be an extra and things like that, then you don't necessarily need the training, you know, just a good working attitude, be professional, be courteous, and there are opportunities out there. And, you know, some people do start off being an extra, watching people at work and learning in that way as well.
I think started off as an extra.
A lot of people do.
Turned into Captain America.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So there is a route. But the interesting thing is for someone who is in a position of wanting to be, for example, you know, the main person. Like, for example, if someone said to me, "Root, what's your dream?" And I would say, "Look, I want to be on Coronation Street. I want to be on EastEnders. I want to have a feature role. I want to do films and things like that."
Yep.
So therefore, the advice then for someone who's on that path is not to do any extra work, which is interesting, which is very interesting. And the reason why I've been told that is because they say, because if you start doing that work, then you'll always be seen as an extra, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, if you're looking to just get into it and be an extra, then there's lots of opportunities out. There's lots of agencies as well. Be careful though, and I would always say look at Equity as well, the Actors Union, and they'll give you some help and support. Great organisation.
Great tip.
Which I'm a part of. I'm an Equity member, a proud member. But if you're looking at doing it professionally, if you're a young person at the moment, training, any type of training, you know, do night class.
Yeah, it's harder than it looks.
It's
not just what we're doing and what you're doing with other people.
Yeah.
When you actually have to think about lines, to think about how you're coming across, you do things that you don't even expect sometimes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Without training.
Yeah, and acting for stage compared to acting for camera, and for example, when you're doing radio, they're 3 different mediums, so your technique is very different. So, for example, when you're doing stage, you know, you can be a little bit bigger. Obviously, you need to be able to project. So the aim for me as an actor when I was working on stage is, can the person in the very, very back, can they hear you? If they can hear you, then everybody else can. So I was always fortunate to have a loud voice. And if I was ever told off for anything at school, it's for being too loud. So yeah. But whereas when you're performing for camera, you don't have to be so big. And also, I remember watching and reading...
Is the key, is it, to that?
Oh, it's subtlety. But also, Michael Caine was brilliant in terms of... He's got a few things on YouTube.
Yeah, a few tricks.
Oh, yeah, and a book as well, which was brilliant to read when I was studying. And it's all about what's the framing. Because if the framing is on your eyes, then, you know, your body doesn't have to move so much, and you focus on there. So...
And you know, the lesson there that you can get from that is work smart, don't work hard. And that applies to everything in life.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think we'll deconstruct that a bit more as well. That's really interesting. We can talk about that for hours.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Look into the psychology of it as well, you know? Why are directors and casting agents doing what they're doing? What are they thinking? What do they... You know, all of this stuff is kind of really important and interesting if you're thinking about breaking in. Because you need to understand what these people are thinking and doing to know how you perhaps shouldn't be and should be.
Yeah, and the biggest thing, before we probably move on to a different topic, I would say is the most important thing is kind of use yourself. You are you. You are unique. There's no one else out there like you. So always remember that when you go into an audition.
I mean, I'm like you.
Oh, well,
but you mean...
You got more facial hair and glasses. But yeah, I mean, you know, you when you walk in, when they first meet you, you're not that character. You're you. And remember that, you know, that's what a lot of people tend to forget. They try to be the part already or whatever. No, they're going to hire you for you. Wow. Be approachable, be nice, be courteous, obviously. And put your own spin on things as well. You know, do the character house and use yourself in that. That's all I would say.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me of a few things as well, actually. But again, for another time. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, people.
And then on top of that, there's other things that we really enjoy, which is Marvel and DC.
Oh, very much
as
so.
You can tell.
Mm-hmm.
Our icons over here.
Yep.
And we me and Rupi. So we had an idea of doing this podcast many weeks ago.
Yes.
And we even made the effort of going to see the Marvels when it
we
was in
did.
theaters.
We did.
Yeah,
we did go and see Marvels. Yeah.
And we introduced this video that we were looking to put out, and then we never got back together to finish it off.
Life can sometimes throw you curveballs, everybody, and there's certain things that you need to deal with. But the good thing is that we're back on it, and we're here.
Might even do it today.
Yeah. I mean, the Marvels, strange enough, as well. It's soon to be, if not already, releasing on Disney Plus. So if you haven't seen it in the theaters, in the cinemas, then I would still say watch it. You know, there's lots of different things that people will say, good and bad, pros and cons, but it's worth a watch. It's definitely worth a watch.
Yeah, and just remember, these people were just people, and they just done the best that they could for you to entertain you. So they put in the time, they put in the effort and the money. Let's give it a go. Let's just see what it was all about. And if you've already seen it in the cinemas and you think, I don't want to watch it again, then that's the beauty of it being on streaming. You don't have to if you don't want to. You can watch something else.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think in terms of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and where it's headed, there's been since Avengers Endgame, which that's an interesting one. I'll put that one to you, Dan, actually. Which was your favourite? Was Infinity War your favourite, or was Endgame your favourite? Out of the two, which one did you prefer?
Endgame.
Really? Right, okay.
Yeah.
See, that was the one for me.
Yeah.
And I connected on a very emotional level as well. I didn't think I would, but I did. Anything to do with fathers and sons, it always connects.
Yeah.
So for those that don't know, my father passed away when I was only 2 years old. So, like, for example, if when I'm watching Lion King, it doesn't matter how many times I've seen it, when Mufasa is in the crowds, everybody, trust me, the tears are coming down my cheek, man. I can't help it. In the theatre, when I watch it on the stage, and trust me...
I know it happens to you too.
Oh, it does, right? So, for me, the bit where Tony Stark goes back in time, and he's with his father.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was... Oh,
that's a dream.
mate.
Yeah.
That was getting to me, man.
Yeah.
Because I was like... my heart was... oh, yeah. So, yeah,
good.
I enjoyed Endgame. What was the connection for you? Why Endgame over Infinity War?
I could be in... That's really touching, by the way.
Ah.
That's something I didn't know about you yet, Rupi, and thanks for sharing with us all.
No,
Yeah.
You're welcome.
That's a powerful scene with us in like.
Uh-huh.
So with Endgame, I haven't yet introduced what I do. I actually work as an IT consultant, as well as doing stuff like this with Rupi. And when I'm working at night, sometimes I have to study. I need something on in the background, and for me, Endgame, and especially the last hour of Endgame, it's an easy watch, an easy piece of cinematic artistry that I can just have on in the background and enjoy whilst working. And it's just every single time I don't get bored of it. So I have ADHD. I get bored of things quickly. Seeing that scene at the final fight scene at the end, there's so much going on. It just, for some reason, I always enjoy watching it. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't get tired of that particular last hour of the movie.
Yeah. I mean, I think I remember being in the actual cinema and watching it, and it was like people were cheering. You know what I mean? Like, especially when Captain America, when he grabs Thor's, Molinar, the hammer. People were like reacting to it as if it was, there was that emotional bond.
Whoa, wait, sorry. I'm catching up as you're talking. Molinar?
I can't pronounce it correctly. How do you pronounce
what
it?
What did you say?
I said so. I tried to pronounce it correctly. I was going to breeze over that, but thank you for highlighting that, Dan. Yes, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly, but it's the M word, Molinar, something like that. Yeah. Molly, that's the one.
Molly.
Let me grab the hammer, Molly.
Oh, rest in peace, Molly.
You're going to have to correct me now. So, how do you pronounce the name of Thor's hammer?
I think it's Mjolnir.
Oh, there you go. Did you hear that bass in the voice? One more time, my friend. One more time, man.
Mjolnir.
Oh! And what was because he's got a second hammer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which what was that? Stormbreaker. That was it.
Stormbreaker.
I can pronounce that correctly. That's fine. So.
Go on, do the voice.
Stormbreaker.
Oh,
See, I can do
a bit of Sean Connery. James
a
Bond,
little bit there. Yeah,
nice, I like that.
Yeah, Stormbreaker. I mean, I should have said my name. I should have. Hello, my name is Rupi Lau. Yes.
Nice to meet you, Rupi Lau.
Nice, yes. You know what? We did say we're going to do characters. I think that might be my if we're talking about films, I might put my film critique voice on and talk like that.
So, good job you brought that up, actually. This being the pilot episode, it's us trying to introduce what you can expect from us.
Yes.
One of the things we'd like to explore with yourselves is some interesting skits.
Yeah.
And not only skits, but, well, you'll see. You just be open. Just stay open. Stay with us.
This isn't just going to be a regular podcast,
no,
people.
no.
Oh, no. We're going to be doing lots of different things. We're going to be entertaining you and giving you that escapism that sometimes we all need.
Yeah.
We've all got busy lives. We've got things that can, affect our stress levels and our mental well-being and health. And we're here to just lighten up your day, people, and give you a chance just to chill, relax, enjoy, laugh a little bit and think, you know what? Yeah, I think that too, you know. And we will try as much as we can to get you involved as well, you know. We want to hear from you, want to hear from your experiences, and we will share if we can, and if possible, if you allow us to.
Yeah. Please, let's start the community together. There's no community without you.
That's what I'm talking about, people.
Oh, yeah. So, that was a wicked pilot. Really
Yes.
enjoyed that.
It's been lovely. It's been lovely and great that we know a little bit about each other.
Yeah.
You know, and we're learning more about each other as well.
Right.
I would like to delve into your experiences with ADHD as well, because I know there'll be a lot of people listening and watching that would want to hear from your kind of point of view on that as well.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that. Exceptionally? No, that's not the word. Especially.
Molly's the word.
Molly.
Molly.
Molly, because because I don't think it's as straightforward as people think it is, and I think there's still lots to be discovered.
Yeah, I mean, certain cultures, certain aspects, certain backgrounds
More
as well.
than that, there was an increase in people being diagnosed with ADHD after lockdown.
Really?
Yeah. And,
right.
And initially, it was thought to be a neuro-communicating neural network link related difference, so that everyone's got a neurochemistry in their brains, and the initial thought was that if some people are hardwired a different way, and because they're hardwired a different way, that could be the cause. However, that might not actually be true. So yeah, I'd love to talk to you a bit more about that, the symptoms, what it's like for people to interact with you. It's really interesting.
A bit of a tease there for you, a reason to come back, everybody. Oh yeah.
Can't give it all to you in the
We
pilot.
can't. Not everything in the pilot, people. Not everything.
Well, it's been great to share this pilot with you, Rupi.
Yes, it's been my pleasure being here, Dan. Thank you so much for sorting this all out, man. You've done so much work. People don't know the things that Dan does behind. I mean, you heard him touch upon it. He's been working late at night on this stuff, texting me, going, "Rup, look, what about this?" I'm like, "Dan, I'm sleeping," but it's good.
Sorry, go back to sleep. Wait, there's one more thing. Yeah, no, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for creating this team, Rupi.
Hey, man, this is what it's all
INT.
about.
Yeah.
This is what it's all about. Connecting, enjoying it, and again, having that time to just chill, relax, and just enjoy life.
Yeah. So thank you very much for listening. And if you want to start something like this yourself, just go ahead and give it a go. I'll show you what it takes in another episode. All right. Well, signing off for now. I'm Dan.
I'm Rupi.
And we'll catch you later.
Take care, everybody.
Peace.